Ahead on NFL Live, Tom Brady and young Daniel Jones help us kick off Week 6 in Foxborough. Both quarterbacks should expect a rainy, windy night in New England. And while we're talking quarterback matchups, they don't get much better than this one. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs play host to Deshaun Watson and the Texans. And who is the team to beat in the NFC East? Find out who we think it will be when we put the show on cruise control. Hello, everybody. Happy to have you with us on this Thursday. I'm Wendy Nix here with Josina Anderson, Victor Cruz, Rob Ninkovich, and also Steve Young joining us as he does every Thursday. We'll start with this. There's an update of sorts, and I think I need to say of sorts, on the standoff between Jalen Ramsey and the Jacksonville Jaguars after a self-described heart-to-heart with his star corner. Jaguars owner Shad Khan told The Street that he does believe Jalen Ramsey will play Sunday against the Saints. Ramsey has missed the last 2 games due to a back injury. The Pro Bowler did return to practice, albeit in a limited fashion, the last 2 days.
Well, I think, he's going to be playing this week. So hopefully you'll tune in to the Saints game. But I think it's something, you got to balance what's good for the team with what the individual maybe wishes might be. And I think we'll be able to kind of formulate here. I met him a couple of days ago, had a heart-to-heart. And I think we'll be able to come to whatever makes sense for all.
I got to ask, though, hypothetically, if they offered you 5 first-round picks to trade him, would you do it?
Do you understand value?
Yes.
Okay, then I think you already know the answer.
All right, then there you go. We're going to start with Josina on this because you've been tracking it day to day. What, if anything, has changed here with Jalen Ramsey and the team he currently plays for?
Well, I was just told within the hour by a source that, Jalen Ramsey is still going to see how his body feels as he has been doing, and that nothing has changed with regards to his trade stance. So as I'm looking at that interview, I'm listening to an owner who is trying to be cordial with the interviewer. I'm certainly not taking away from the fact that Jalen Ramsey and the owner had a heart-to-heart. I would expect Jalen Ramsey to conduct himself professionally during that heart-to-heart as well. But what I feel like I've seen transpire over each of the last few weeks is one side trying to a little bit gradually put more pressure on the other side. Khan made those comments last week basically saying that, he feels like he should play and he's not going to trade him. And then Jalen Ramsey has basically maintained his stance by staying on the sidelines. The team recently tried to ask him, or did ask him, to have that back test, just to kind of check him out and maybe put some things in the public as far as really what they maybe want to get as far as the input on that back injury. But as far as, like I said, even within the last hour, I've heard nothing has changed with regards to his stance.
It's a tough spot, right? Because nobody knows what's going on in your body. It's difficult to say, hey, you don't have a back injury. Obviously, the timing is coincidental. But if his stance hasn't changed, team stance doesn't appear to have changed, Victor. Rob, ultimately, it's a standoff.
Yeah, it's definitely a standoff. And first and foremost, you want to make sure, at least Jalen Ramsey does as an individual, that he's healthy, that he's able to go out there and perform at the best of his ability before he goes out there on the football field. Now, his stance that hasn't changed, it's going to be interesting to see how the Jaguars handle this and how the GM and owners handle this situation, because he does want out of Jacksonville. It's just a matter of how. How are you going to trade him? What is the value? It's just they're in such a tough spot with Jalen Ramsey right now. It's tough to see where they go from here.
Well, they're a better team with him, but ultimately you don't get the benefit of that roster spot. If he's on your team and he's not playing, at some point it's sort of biting your nose off to spite your face in a lot of ways if he's not going to play.
Yeah, Vic, and you know this. A back injury can be a big question mark. You don't know how long it could be to recover. You don't know what it looks like in the future, having a back issue. So having that, another team might say, no, we're good. I don't want to mess with that. Or you sign a big contract and you offer a big contract, but there's a back issue. So right now you need to figure out, okay, we need to get him healthy first and figure out where we're at.
Well,
but then there's a timeline here.
Yeah.
It's coming to a close.
And a game on Sunday.
Yes.
And nothing is going to change. The Redskins are in a similar position right now with Trent Williams, who would rather stay on his couch than contribute to that franchise. It makes more sense to gather resources in exchange for the player who's not contributing on the field, rather than to have this man-on-man, macho on macho ego thing going on every week. It makes no sense. You're trying to make a point, but for what?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you at this point, Josina, because you're just not getting the benefit in either direction.
Either direction.
He
Yeah,
also has to prove that he's healthy so that moving forward, he's no trade value if he's not
Yeah,
healthy.
well,
Conversations that happen underneath the table. I'm sure, teams will understand what's going on.
again, we've got the Saints for the Jags on Sunday. The Giants and the Patriots, well, listen, it's been a close affair lately in their last 5. That includes Super Bowls 42 and 46. They've been decided by 4 or fewer points. Brady inching closer to more history, only needing 18 passing yards tonight to pass Peyton Manning for second on the all-time passing list. And then there's Daniel Jones. Could be in for a rough night considering New England has reeled off an NFL record 18 straight wins against first or second year starting quarterbacks. And of course, he's a rookie. Danny Dimes will be missing a number of key offensive weapons. This won't help. Saquon Barkley, Wayne Gallman, Sterling Shepard, and Evan Ingram all out. The Patriots will not have wideout Philip Dorsett, and Julian Edelman still dealing with a chest injury. Josh Gordon has a knee problem. Both Edelman and Gordon, however, listed as questionable. We are joined now by Michelle Steele, who's already in Foxborough. Michelle, let's start with that Patriots defense preparing for a Giants offense that really, let's be honest, is missing so many key playmakers.
Yeah, Wendy, to say that the Giants are shorthanded on offense might actually be an understatement. I spoke with Patriots linebacker Kyle Van Noy and asked him how he prepares on a short week for so many new players and so many new personnel. And he told me we have such a high level of trust in each other and a high level of trust in our coaching staff that, it kind of doesn't matter who's back there. And he might be right. Take a look at the stats. Through 5 games, Kyle Van Noy, Jamie Collins, and Dante Hightower, they're part of a linebackers group that call themselves the Boogeymen. They have got 9 sacks, 57 tackles through the first 5 weeks of this season. What he told me that is actually motivating them a lot today, well, if they come back with a win, their coaches have promised them some extra time off. So Daniel Jones, just want to let you know that you are the only thing that stands between the Boogeymen and vacation. So might be a long day here. Wendy?
That's certainly a motivation. And let's stay with Daniel Jones and that offense for just a minute. What is wide receiver Golden Tate saying about the extra attention he's likely to get tonight?
Yeah, you know what? He did miss the first 4 games of this season because of suspension, but he told me that his mindset is that he is ready for all of the opportunities he's going to be getting, and he will be getting them. Now, obviously, it's a short week. It's more of a mental week, not a physical one. So he's still building that chemistry with Daniel Jones, and he's checking in with him more. He's talking to him a lot more. They're watching film together, and he feels comfortable right now that they are seeing the same thing out there. Now, staying with the quarterback very quickly, Daniel Jones, welcome to the Northeast. They are expending a nor'easter here in New England. It's going to be rainy, windy, just miserable in general all day. And this is the earliest that he's seen this kind of weather in the season. Daniel Jones, you're not a Duke anymore. Wendy.
No, Michelle, I was there this morning and the trees were bending over sideways. It's going to be a tough night in Foxborough, to be sure.
Well, I've got the hat.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Patriots' pass defense, and you mentioned this, has just been incredible. The unit leads the NFL with 11 picks this season, all while holding opposing quarterbacks to the fewest yards per attempt. New England, the first team not to allow a touchdown pass in its first 5 games since 1988, when the Browns and Dolphins both achieved that. And what's interesting about you, Rob, of course, is that you played in a Bill Belichick defense for 8 seasons. You know what he's capable of schematically. So as you've watched this unit in particular through these first 5 games, what have you seen?
Just how multiple they are. And they can come at you a lot of different ways, different guys in different positions. And I'm going to show you a little bit.
We like to do that. We like to see the drama. You're going to
Rob's taking a walk on us.
and I passed me by.
Taking a walk on us.
I'll show you a little bit on what I'm talking about. And this play right here, I'm going to highlight a couple guys, because right here it's scheme, and also guys working together. So in this particular play, okay, inside linebacker Jamie Collins is going to come here and try and pick the tackle. We got another linebacker, Hightower, is going to come here and try and pick this tackle, and both outside linebackers are going to come this way. This so happened to be Chase Winovich's sack, but if you watch this play, watch it develop. Watch this play develop, and both sides are running the same thing, but one side is going to come free. And look, this time, it's Winovich. He's right there. But both guys are free to the quarterback. Now, in this particular play, now this is a different play. Now you have Hightower on the outside rushing the edge on a tackle. He's going to make an inside move here because he is covered by this inside guy right here is going to cover him. So he's trying to break the pocket on the inside, make an inside move. This is predetermined. He's going to make an inside move, and he's going to win instantly. So watch him win inside, and there's a party at the quarterback right now. Him and Mike Bennett both get there at the same time. I hate when you split sacks. It's the worst when you cut it in half. I'd rather the whole thing. So this, I'd rather the whole sack. But it's okay. They're sharing. Sharing,
yes,
right?
Sharing is
caring. It's teamwork, guys. Okay, so on this particular play, you look at the front. You look at this front right here. It's 5-on-5. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And you watch Jamie Collins on just a tremendous rush on the center, rushes, it wins instantly. So he wins basically right off the snap, and it's 1,000, 1,000 sack. So he gets in there and gets the ball out, actually. It's a fumble, but when I watch this defense, I see a lot of different positions coming after the quarterback, working together, and scheme, but also one-on-one, individually winning. But I can't forget about the secondary, too, because if you watch the Buffalo game from the week before, the week prior, the quarterback, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000.
See what happened to it? Let him get up.
So I don't like to say coverage sack, because as a D lineman, I'll take any sack I can get. You know what I'm saying?
I like that party at the quarterback, although the quarterback wants no part of the party.
No,
And
well, nowadays the quarterback's like, this ain't so bad.
That was the smoothest analysis I've seen in a green suit.
Yeah,
you like
the bar is high. Listen, I promised Steve Young would be with us, and Steve, let's switch the script here and talk quarterbacks. Listen, you know what? Daniel Jones facing a top-flight defense for the second straight week. He is on the road. The weather will be bad. He's got an undermanned offense. What do you tell him to be successful?
You tell him this is the best opportunity you've had so far, and maybe for a long time, to speak to the nation about who Daniel Jones is. Everybody expects a complete flatline. And if you can show that you are not the reason that this team loses, if you can show that you can stand up and make a few plays and create some space and be ahead of the game and show some artwork. You know, we are talking about quarterbacks, arts and science, and the art of just trying to create some opportunities, drive the ball down the field. I mean, people are going to expect so little tonight. That if Daniel Jones can stand up and look like somebody who can get something done, and you can glean through a lot of disaster and see a guy that actually gets it, that can figure this stuff out, that has the three-dimensional, three-dimensional chess that can get things done. So in my mind, there's a lot to learn tonight about Daniel Jones, a perfect opportunity to make huge strides in the perception game around the country.
Listen, I hope he heard. I'm motivated, Steve. I don't know. Speak to the nation. I mean, I like it. And you know what? You're absolutely... Yeah, he's right, because no one expects Daniel Jones or the Giants to go into Foxborough and even make any noise whatsoever.
This is a huge game for Daniel Jones, not just for him as an individual and as a player, but I think for him as that team, as that leader of that team, as a quarterback on that team. He's going to see fronts that he's never seen before. He's going to see different coverages. He's going to see disguises that he's never seen before. They're going to have those guys up there on third down, that whole defensive line, linebackers right up at the line of scrimmage, thinking that they're going to blitz. Are they going to drop back in coverage? Is one guy coming or three guys coming? This is perfect for Daniel Jones to get in there and do what he needs to do and understand that it's going to be a mental game for him. He's going to have to make changes, make decisions at the line of scrimmage that he probably hasn't done to this magnitude thus far. And they're going to put a lot of onus on him this week to be that playmaker. And if that offensive line is able to keep him upright and keep him in that pocket and keep him clean, easier said than done, he's going to have opportunities to get the ball downfield to some playmakers that we probably aren't used to seeing or some names that we aren't used to hearing. But Golden Tate's going to be the focal point of that offense this week, at least from the perimeter perspective.
Well, keeping him clean is easier said than done, especially against this group, JoJo, and that's part of the challenge of tonight.
Well, I think it's very interesting because obviously without Saquon and last week Hilliman having 20 rush yards and Penny having 15, I mean, this is an opportunity, as we were talking about in the green room, for the Patriots D-line to just unleash. So I want to see when they can just basically key on him with that pass rush, and he doesn't have the outlet of the defenders having to back off as a result of the running backs being there, exactly how he will orchestrate this offense. Because when you talk to the players on the Giants, all they talk about is the fact that you never see him struggle when it comes to calling plays in the huddle, changing and making the checks at the line of scrimmage. So now when all of those extra, cushions and crutches are not there, can you still orchestrate it the same way?
I would also say that defensively, when you're going against a young quarterback, you're going to come after him, and you're going to want to get after him a lot all game. Every third down, I would anticipate some type of load the box, all-out blitz, see if he can communicate to the receivers.
Bill Belichick has absolutely had its way with young quarterbacks. There's no question. And again, if you're joining us, the weather will be tough in Foxborough tonight. Sam Darnold, meanwhile, expected to start this week for the Jets against the Cowboys. Find out what head coach Adam Gase had to say about protecting his franchise quarterback. Plus, as promised,